Welcome back. Another edition of the Amazing Survivors podcast with
Tron and
Tremaine.
All right, so here we go. Season 47, episode 6.
I can't believe it's 6 already. That went quick.
It did go quick.
Jeez.
But it was an excellent episode because we got the merge.
The merge.
I like this a lot. So
Okay, just real quick, since it's the merge, if you went on, is the goal to merge?
the goal's to win.
True, but I feel like so many players now, they're like, oh, I made the merge, bucket list.
Yeah.
Check it off. It's like,
No.
for me personally, I'm like, the merge? Like, who?
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm gonna make the merge.
Yeah.
Like, that's a given.
Yeah.
So, I just think it's funny that some people put all this emphasis on the merge, and it's like,
Oh yeah,
the
everyone's
merge.
super stoked. I think it's just kind of like a checkpoint, you know. It's like, okay, we made it like to this like milestone. Now the next one. So it starts off talking with back at God Tribe, and Andy,
Tribal.
Andy's just like, oh, I loved Tribal. It
He's
was
really
so
feeling
great."
himself.
I'm like,
Feeling himself.
Dude, you didn't do anything, man. Like,
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, he really thinks he's the architect of this big plan.
Yeah.
And
It's
everything
like,
went just the way it went. And
yeah, I'm just like, whatever, I guess. Like, just be happy, but like, I don't know.
I feel like this is a key essential time where you're either Sierra or Sam, where you have to rein in Rachel and go, listen, we wanted to include you, but at the same time,
We couldn't.
yeah,
for sure.
we still want to work with you. So please, like, let's
And she needs to kind of do that on her end too. Like, hey, I was out, but like, I want to work with you.
Yeah,
And
she has to like be humble and just come to them and go, man, good blindside. I wish I was in on the plan, guys.
Yeah.
Next time, I'm in. I want to be with you.
Yeah.
You know, but I guess underneath it's like, this merge comes, I'm bouncing.
Yeah, for sure.
So
Just keep your options open. You got to do that all the time.
exactly,
So,
exactly.
Yeah. So then everyone gets notified. Hey, merge
Drop
is
the
happening.
hoofs.
Let's get going, and it's going to be at Tuku. At their
that
little
beach,
camp.
which is, I wonder if they picked that beach because of Sue
the
and the
red.
total carnage that went on over there.
Yeah, for sure. So then it kind of like shows that it's like everyone get your stuff, like let's go over there. And then Sue's like, oh, I need to wash this idol off. So she's still trying to wash it off. I'm like, what? Just go in the ocean. Like,
Right?
what are you doing?
Oh my gosh.
So she's at the water hole, like washing off this idol that has all this paint, and then she hears some boats coming. I'm like, you should have done this a while ago. Like, I don't know
why you didn't do it like at night
and in the
or
ocean,
morning?
just jump in the ocean and just you're good. Like,
That
blowing
boggles
my mind, but it's
think-
also kind of funny too.
I think that's the 59-year-old
Yeah.
versus the 45-year-old Sue. The
Which-
45-year-old Sue would go in the ocean.
Who was she? Oh, she was talking to Saul once
Yeah.
they all got there, and she's like, I'm 45 and he's 40 or something.
42.
And then he's like, we look good. I'm like, she looks horrible for 45. I'm like, no offense. She looks so bad if she was 45. I'm like, she looks like a 50. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
She does not look 45.
I don't know.
With Botox, without Botox, you're not looking 45.
Yeah. But so everyone gets there, and there's a sign on the beach that says, hey, there's advantage for tomorrow's or the challenge.
Yeah.
Go find it. And I liked that. And everyone's like, whoa. And so they start looking, but it seems like they don't look for very long. And then they're just kind of more on the lines of like, I'm just going to get to know people.
Well, that's the hard thing about putting that kind of advantage right then.
Yeah.
Because most savvy Survivor players are going to go, you know what?
It's
An
more
advantage is great for one.
Yeah.
Versus I can mingle and get bonds for the entire game.
For sure.
And so like I don't think production realized that.
Yeah.
That most players are gonna go, yeah, I'm not gonna put a target on my back for running around and going to find this thing.
For sure.
I'd much rather, hey, us 3, us 4, let's go look together, just chat.
Yeah.
And so
which they kind of did for a little bit. Like, I mean, Sam Genevieve kind of go out, they see a buoy and they're like, oh, it's nothing. But then it seemed like everyone just got back to camp and just were like, everyone was talking together.
Yeah.
So,
and I'm sorry, when do you see a buoy in the water at your camp?
I don't know.
Oh yeah, that's gotta be there all the time. Like, at least take Genevieve, or Genevieve take Sam and go out there.
Yeah.
Because I'm sorry, production is they're not gonna just put a buoy for no reason.
Yeah. So then while people are chatting and looking and whatnot, they all find the paint. And everyone's like, what is all this?
Dude.
And they find the pot, they find all the pieces, they find all of this stuff. And Caroline and Tiana are like, okay, we know what this means.
Yeah. And so Caroline, she goes to Sue.
Yeah.
I know, I got your back. I know what you got. And man, Sue, what were you thinking? Like, you did the worst job trying to conceal this murder scene.
Bad.
And oh my gosh, it's hilarious at the same time.
Yeah, I loved it, and I want them to do it on future episodes like this.
Yeah, the brighter the color, the better.
Yeah, 100%.
The bigger the splash, the better.
100%. It's so fun, and everyone's just like, what is all of this? What's going? And then like you see like everyone's got like red hands now.
And it's so funny, like they dug up where she put the vase. It did not look hard to find. And I'm just like, wow.
No.
What amateur hour.
It really was. It was.
Oh my gosh.
But it's hilarious. So everyone's kind of like, what is this? And she's like, I gotta pretend like I don't know. And
yeah, what is this?
She looks so suspicious the whole time.
Bad.
It was great.
And because that paint, I feel like it still stained her hands. Like you can tell.
100%.
And so I wonder if, off in their own little world or conversations, people are like, Sue's hands look like they have a red tint.
Right.
So.
Right.
Yeah, it wasn't well concealed, but at the same time, I love it because, as Jeff says, they want dangerous fun, and this is getting dangerous.
I love it.
So.
So then, also.
And she's the only one with an advantage right now.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Which is kind of interesting.
Plus, like the amulets.
But those just got.
Oh yeah. After this.
Yeah, they'll get played.
I mean, at this point.
Yeah.
So then
everyone knows about
Genevieve kind of is like, I'm going to check out that buoy actually. So she swims out there and she finds the advantage thing and she's stoked. And all it says is,
present this
and you'll get an advantage. So no one knows what it is or anything. But so she got it. Everyone's kind of bummed about that. They all want it. So, but then this is the crazy part. So everyone's chatting. And here we go with Rome talking to Kyle. And I don't know, Kyle just seems like a good dude, but you gotta like keep some things closer to your chest. He just starts talking and spilling
the beans.
Everything to Rome, and I'm like, this is the last guy to do this too. But it kind of like was good also. But so he just tells them everything about basically like Sue and Tiana and
their whole camp.
Yeah, their entire camp. Just like, oh, I think she's a threat. I think he's a threat. Like all this stuff. I'm like, oh man, what are you doing? Like, have you what?
Well, yeah, they must have formed some real tight bond right off the top for Kyle to feel comfortable to do that.
I don't know.
Maybe it is a mastermind plan of Kyle. Like, hey, maybe I've seen this guy kind of like talk a lot at challenges and whatnot. Maybe he'll go around and start stirring some stuff up, and I can come back and go, no, that's totally taking it out of context. I didn't say that. And so, yeah, it makes me wonder exactly who played who. Obviously, Kyle won the play. But it's just kind of interesting, and I don't know. I wouldn't have done that, but it worked out for him. But so Rome just immediately goes and talks to Sue, and then Sue's like, oh, I want Kyle out again, and then he talks to Sam, talks to Tiana. Tiana's kind of like, I don't know about this. Well, yeah, she's like, why would Kyle say that? He's my closest ally. And so, in a way, Rome, you're playing too hard, too fast.
Yeah.
Especially when people can go around and fact check and go, hey, he said this to me.
which is kind of what happens. So Tiana goes
yeah.
to Saul, and this was my favorite part, because this is just Saul's like moment to shine, and he's like, no, that dude's an idiot. That's BS. Like, so then they they talk to Kyle, they talk to like a bunch of other people like around the water jug, and Saul's just like, this is what Rome does. He just stirs the pot. He does this, and like.
And so, for Saul's game, that had to be music to his ears.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
oh my gosh, you have just given me the biggest gift.
Yeah.
Goodbye, Rome.
For sure. I would be stoked if I heard that. I'd be like,
yeah.
oh heck yes, this is. And so now,
And the best
Kyle,
thing is, he doesn't even have to lie.
no,
It's all
no,
true.
It is.
Well, at least from our perspective
Yeah.
and theirs.
So then Kyle is just like, great, he's going. I'm gunning for this guy now, which I think is awesome. Just so happy. And like Genevieve's there too, and she doesn't say anything. She's like, okay, well.
Once again, Genevieve being the smart player she
Yeah.
is, and she's like, I can't let this anchor sink my ship.
No.
And she plays it cool, like, okay.
She had the time. She's like, okay, I'll be like bridled with this dude for a while, and now the time has come to cut that tie.
Yeah. Like, he served his purpose. Like, he's been a shield for me.
Yeah.
But sometimes the shield overplays their hand, and it's like, yeah, I gotta cut him.
For sure.
So Genevieve, I think she's smart, and she could probably add to Saul, like, yeah, he did do this, he did do this.
Right.
And kind of fact check what Saul said. So, but yeah, dumb.
So dumb.
Like, I feel like at this point, like the Murgatory, if you will, you just have to kind of lay low.
You do. I think it's fine going, like, if you're filling it out and stuff, like, he may have felt it out with Sue and knowing that she doesn't really like Kyle. So yeah, by all means, like, talk to her about it, but just don't go to every single person. Like,
yeah, you can't go to everyone and try to play that hard and think you are running the game, playing 4D chess when everyone's playing checkers.
Yeah.
Or the other one who's like, this is Michael Jordan versus like Korka Heinrich.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Oh.
He's got some great one-liners and analogies, but my gosh.
Oh man, he's so annoying.
Cool the Jets.
So annoying.
I think he might have gone a little bit far there.
All right, so then we go into the challenge.
Okay.
The merge challenge.
Did you like this challenge? And the way that they set it up with the twist?
I kind of did. I don't know. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
Oh.
I like the twist. Man,
What
I
was
just
the
don't know.
twist?
Well, the twist being they go into two groups. Genevieve's on the side.
Because of her advantage.
Because
she
of
goes
her
straight
advantage.
to the second portion.
And so whatever team wins, they get to go on and compete for individual immunity.
Yeah.
And so, I don't know. I don't know if I totally love that. Also, that group who wins, they get food.
Yeah.
And along with Genevieve. And so, I don't know. I kind of like
That was fine.
everyone. I would have been better with it if everyone could have competed for individual though.
I don't know. I kind of like it the way it is.
That's fair.
I like eliminating half of them and then have the other ones go for it.
That's fine.
I liked it.
So, I don't know.
I don't think it's life changing, but it was fine.
No.
Yeah, so Genevieve's advantage is she doesn't have to participate in the first part. She goes straight to the second and gets the food advantage on that. So then basically in the two teams, they have to, I don't know, just run through a bunch of mud, then crawl through sawdust, and then they get grappling hook things. And some people are moving debris away while other people are up above, and they pull up this bag full of, like, there's a ball in it and like a bunch of coconuts and crap.
Yeah.
Once they get that, they empty that out, they get the ball, right? They get the ball. When do they go through the wall? I can't remember.
So the wall is at the end.
Yeah.
Like they have to run up that ramp.
To do the thing up at the top.
Up at the maze at the top. And so, and that's interesting where they really struggled. And so the yellow team, after a couple of tries, they're like, oh, there's all these sandbags.
Yeah.
Let's just back these up.
Which, the odds were stacked against them for that physical portion, because it's a tall wall, you got to get up there. They had Sue. I don't know. There were a couple Caroline. They had a couple of people that weren't great at it. Where the other team was a little more physically stacked, and they got up it pretty quick. There was like a couple people that struggled there, but they were able to like
get pushed up.
Yeah, get on that.
And helped up. And so, yeah, it was funny to see the blue team. They get to the maze first, and our main man Rome, Mr. Clutch.
Yeah, I don't know why he like volunteered for it. He just thinks he can do everything, but it's clear.
He thinks he can do everything, and kind of like going back a couple of episodes where him and Saul are talking about it. Like he's pretty adamant about being the one at the end, like with the puzzle.
Yeah.
And so I could see him doing that again with this. Like, no, I can do this. I'm really good at this. I practice. But man, Rome, I'm sorry, but you are not Mr. Clutch.
No.
You are not Mr. Clutch.
Step above Andy. That's it. I forgot. This kind of pissed me off. So Jeff was kind of like, "Hey, it's been a long time. We haven't done a schoolyard pick. Like we're gonna choose captains and do a schoolyard pick." And then they didn't show the pick.
Yeah, that's.
I was like, "Dude, show it. If you're gonna like make this deal about it, like show the schoolyard pick." He's just like, "Okay, the teams are this, this, and this." I'm like, I kind of wanted to see who chose who.
Well, in listening to Jeff's, I can't remember who he said the captains were, but the last two picked, can you guess?
Andy.
Yeah.
And Sue.
Yep.
Yeah.
Andy was the very last one picked.
Yeah.
And so.
Yeah, I want to see that, right?
Yeah, because that tells a lot about just social
people's
dynamics.
Perspectives, and everything,
of where their loyalty lies.
Yeah.
And so, it was kind of a bummer not to see that.
Yeah.
Because I feel like they've always showed that.
Right.
And so, if you're not going to show that, at least then do rocks.
Yeah.
Go with the rocks.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So, anyways, back to it. Blue sucked at the puzzle. Rome and Gabe were just like no finesse. It was just like
very chaotic.
Just like pull these handles as hard as you can. I'm just like, well, and to their credit, it did actually get them pretty far in there. But it also, they dropped it a ton, and Yellow caught up to them, and
then surpassed him.
And then surpassed him, yeah. And it was Kyle and Sam on the puzzle. And dude, Kyle is a freaking beast. I like Kyle.
I love
He's
Kyle.
Crushing it. Like he is good at these challenges.
I think people are gonna recognize.
I think so.
Man, he's gonna be tough to beat.
Yeah, for sure.
In any challenge.
For sure. Yeah. So they surpass him. They win. So they all get the food and everything, and they all go on to the next portion.
Oh yeah.
Which is they basically have to stand on this balance beam that's wide, and it gets smaller and smaller. And angled down, and they have to hold this thing that's curved and have a ball on there, and they just have to like keep it on, which will honestly look pretty difficult.
Yeah, I want to know like exactly how heavy that is.
Yeah. But
like once it starts going, like as Jeff says, you gotta do little movements.
Yeah. Which you could tell on a lot of them, it would start going, and they'd correct it, and it would start going, and they'd wait till it kind of got to the middle, and then they'd come back, but then it's too late because it's just cruising off the other side.
It picks up speed quick, and then off it goes.
Which Sierra sucked. she was done in
no time.
5 seconds.
Yeah, no time.
That was something
and so
else.
The first was it 5 minutes or 10 minutes on the first stage?
I think it was like 10 minutes on the first.
And so they get there. Basically, it comes down to Kyle and Sue at the end.
And they get to the very last section on that.
Yeah. And, I mean, Sue did well.
She did. It could have gone either way. Either way.
But eventually, Kyle wins it. And how do you like that necklace?
No. No,
cool.
I don't.
The bat? I wonder if it's real bat skin.
That would be kind of cool.
Probably stink.
Yeah, I'm not too into that. But so he wins, which is great. I like him. I think he's great. I think him and Genevieve are doing amazing.
Yeah.
They're my like two favorites
Top
right now.
two.
But so then they go get the merged buffet food thing, and
charcuterie boards.
and okay. And Sam has his first pineapple. Like, what the hell? Like, how is this your first pineapple?
For real, you need to get outside more, brother. But
and then Tina gets drunk. That's what I have read.
I think a few of them did.
Yeah, she was getting after it.
Which is so funny because I feel like so many players, when they offered that, they wouldn't partake because they knew, okay, I'm probably gonna run my mouth.
Yeah, right. Like that's trouble there.
And so it's funny that now these new players, they're just like, screw it, I'm just going for it. But also during this, they talk about, okay, who anyone want to throw a name out?
Right.
And basically the consensus is Rome.
Yeah.
And then they also have the consensus as Andy as the backup. And Sierra and Sam, they're kind of in a tough spot here.
Yeah, they don't want that. But
they don't want that, but you also can't put up much of a fight.
Yeah.
Because that's just going to go, oh, they're protecting it because they see
protecting
him
their own
as a number for them.
Yeah, which I agree. I feel like you just have to be like, yeah, that's fine. Like,
yeah.
I don't know.
And it's tough for them also to transition back where Andy is and to tell him because loose lips sink ships.
Yeah.
He's probably going to freak out. Like, no, I can't be the backup.
For sure freak out.
And so it's probably smart, if anything, maybe the last minute before you go to travel or even at travel, just go, hey, let me tell you this. Don't freak out on me. It's not you. But you are going to see your name probably once or twice. Yeah. Because there is a couple of players out here who want you gone. Yeah. But don't freak out. I've got your back. We locked it down. Just please don't freak out. Because it's one of those things where
I just wouldn't tell him anything, to be honest. I'm like, nah.
Well, it's going to be interesting.
And then I'd just be like, whoa. Like,
I'm just as surprised as you. Yeah. Because
he's too much of a wild card.
Yeah, you just don't know. Yeah. You just don't know.
Yeah. But meanwhile, back at camp, Roman's just selling Saul. And he's doing his whole fake crying thing, talking about how what do you like say? Like he like just felt picked on and like
he felt like he was bullied and picked on, and he already has confidence issues.
Yeah, the confidence issues, and he makes him feel like Saul makes him feel like a small person. And it's like no one's believing that. Well,
wait till you see this.
Caroline kind of seemed like she was believing him, but.
I'm sorry, but I feel like Caroline's going to believe anything.
I do too.
She just is going to take things at face value.
It's like, yeah, he's just going around telling everyone that. And I loved like the splits because he'd be like, Saul, Saul, Saul. And then people would get together and be like, so it's Rome, right?
Yeah. Like no one is on board with that. Like,
and then they come back to him. He's like, "I'm just running this game. Like everyone's voting Saul. I'm getting my wish." Like
Michael Jordan against Kirk Heinrich. Oh my gosh,
that was kind of fun. I just love it when like they show that where one person thinks so confidently that it's going to be this one way, and it's like 100% going the other.
And they're so unaware of how bad it's going for them.
Yeah. Which is, it was just kind of fun.
Yeah, it makes me also wonder, like, what is it like at camp? What is he seeing at camp that makes him so confident that everyone's on board?
Honestly, I feel like in these situations, you do have to be pretty unaware. Like, you can tell that he's, like, quiet, cocky and everything. And so I think that gets into your judgment. And so you don't pick up on, like, little things. Like, oh, maybe someone, like, gives someone a nod or like looks at someone or like whatever, and you don't pick up on those like those small things or like the micro impressions because in your head you're just like so pumped and you're just like, oh, I'm just running this. And so I do feel like if he wasn't so like arrogant and everything, he could probably like pick up on like some energy and stuff and be like, oh, I'm not so sure on this, and maybe do like a little more work to be like, okay, but like we're getting this person out, right? Or honestly, I feel like he could probably sense people kind of want Andy out or whatever. And instead of pushing Saul, like jump on the Andy thing and you might like get that.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, why are you pushing one of your own so hard?
Yeah.
When you feel like, especially if you're talking to Tuku,
Yeah.
hey, let's get this guy out.
Mhm.
Like, we've already seen him blow up.
Yeah.
We don't need that for any of our games.
Yeah. No.
Let's go with this.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
For sure. It does seem to me, I don't know if you feel the same, but it does seem to me like no one's really like, okay, our tribe and your tribe, let's work together and get this tribe out. It kind of feels like a pretty mix of the tribes.
well, I feel like in these new eras, it's becoming more and more like, once you hit this merge, it's kind of a free for all.
Yeah.
Like, you want to go in with 2, maybe 3 people that you could really stick with, and then you got to pick up the free agents from the other tribes and go, hey, work with us.
Yeah,
let's
100%.
run this.
100%.
And really, when you pick up those free agents, it's like, well, who do you feel like on your tribe you want out?
Yeah.
Well, let's work to get them out.
Yeah.
And that's what.
But I don't even feel like that's really happening here either. I just
No,
feel like everyone's
on the consensus of Rome, which means he must really have
he must really
pissed a lot of people off, rub people the wrong way.
Right.
And so, yeah, it's got to be a blessing for all 3 tribes who like,
For sure.
cool, we'll take them.
Yeah, because I mean, in my head, I'd be like, oh, maybe like Andy, Rachel, Teeny, and like some of those people that are on the outs would like get together and like get someone out, but it doesn't even seem like that's happening. Like,
No,
it just
and it's interesting too because here you've got now Tuku with 5, Gato with 4, Lava with 3. It's pretty much okay. Who can we swing the Lava over with?
Yeah.
And that's really been the story in the last couple of years.
But then even if you look at that, like Tuku's fractured. Like Sue
know.
hates Kyle. Sue and Gabe are kind of together. Caroline's kind of playing both sides. It seems like Tiana and Kyle are more on the same page. So it's like super fractured there. Lava was super fractured. It seems like they're kind of
cut the
better
fat
now.
off.
And then Gato is just always kind of together, minus the whole like Rachel being on the wrong side of the boats thing. So it's just like, I don't know. It's just like if they want, they could just sweep Tuku off of there.
Oh yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if they did. Like, hey, let's bind together, knock these guys out, and run with
For
it.
sure, for sure. But
Easier said than done.
Easier said than done, for sure. So, then we go to Tribal. We go to Tribal, where Rome is just so excited.
Well, the funny thing before that, they talked to Andy, and I'm sorry, but talk about rubbing salt in the wound of Rachel.
Yeah.
Oh man, the blind side was awesome. I had a great time. It's just like, oh my gosh, you are just not aware
You got to get
of what you're doing.
He's got to get out.
Yeah.
Whoever aligns with him is just, their game's going to get blown up.
Totally.
Because he just is not aware of what he's saying.
Yeah, or how it comes across, which is so detrimental.
It is.
So bad.
Yeah. So,
But yeah,
Sam and Sierra need to distance themselves from him.
in a quick way.
Yeah.
Or just, hey, you know how he was second? Let's just get him out now.
Yeah.
Let's just be done.
Yeah, if they pitched him.
I think everyone would be on board.
Yeah, for sure.
And if I was them, grab Rachel, go to Lavo, and go, hey, let's make this a final 6 right here.
Yeah.
And just work everyone out.
Yeah.
Because we can get Tuku to get Andy out, and then we can smoke them.
But also, if I'm like Sierra and Sam, I'm gonna want to get Kyle on my side because that dude's just like a beast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so the chances of him like getting immunity is, I think, a lot higher.
Yeah, pretty high.
So.
Yeah. But during Tribal, did you like this first time ever?
Dude, I almost just fast forwarded it. I was like, I do not want to hear what
you had
Rome
nothing
has to say.
Nothing good to hear from there.
Yeah.
About Rome talking about the amulets and why they're a disadvantage.
Yeah, because he kind of calls Jeff out. He's like, hey, the amulets aren't a good idea. It's a disadvantage to the people that have them, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, well, why? And he's like, oh, come up here and like say it. So he sits down and gives this whole spiel on it. And I was just like, dude, I can't listen to your stupid crap.
It's kind of funny in the sense that it's kind of like Caesar's last speech before Brutus stabs him in the back.
Yeah, for sure.
Which, It was kind of, I don't know. It's
Probably
poetic.
how everyone was feeling up there.
Oh.
Like, okay, go ahead, have your last.
Oh yeah, it's just like, if you only knew what was coming.
Yeah.
So.
And then he's like, "Oh, I want your job. Like when you retire." I'm like, "Well, I would stop watching Survivor if you were the host."
Yeah. Hey, if they're still paying $1 million, I'll still go on and compete for $1 million. But it's not my first choice for hosting.
No, not even close.
So, right. Anyway,
anything strike you during the conversation at Tribal?
nothing real big because everybody was so on board
Yeah.
with what was going on, except Rome.
Yeah. In more ways than one.
Oh my gosh. And so because of that, there was no hiding who was going home.
No.
Like production,
Yeah.
they let it up like,
Oh, yeah.
hey, this is going to be the fall and it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
But here we go.
Yeah.
So yeah, they play the amulets. Teeny gets saved,
Yeah.
and nobody really cared.
Which I get to, and I agree with Rome and everyone that the amulets are kind of stupid because like everyone knows who has them, so then you're either a target or like whatever, and so it's like let's just play them and get this finished.
Yeah, and not worry about it. And so I don't know. That's the thing with these journeys. Like I understand you want to introduce new advantages and dangerous fun and risking things for everything. But man, more often than not, you just have a disadvantage because now you have to come back and tell it.
Yeah.
And you can either lie or not. But once you hit the merge, your lie's either coming out or the truth is coming out.
Yeah.
And that puts you at a huge disadvantage where you don't have as much control of your game
For sure.
as you'd like.
Yeah. 100%.
So that's, I don't know, it's kind of hard to watch in that regard.
Yeah, but I agree. At Tribal, there really wasn't much going on. Like, I don't think anything was really said per se. It's just kind of like, okay, like this is.
And here's the other thing: like, there's no real tribal lines drawn.
Yeah.
Everyone was on the same page.
Yeah.
So there's really no line in the sand where it's like, okay, this tribe's going against this one. This is war. Let's go.
Yeah, for sure.
So.
Yeah, so they all vote, and I just was dying with Rome voting. Like, so he's like 100% Saul's going home today, so I'm gonna like
mix it up,
stir things up a little bit, and I'm voting for Sam. It's like, oh my gosh. So that was interesting.
And then Saul voted for Andy. Who else voted for Andy?
Sue.
Oh.
Which I didn't really, because Saul, it showed at least in the edits, Saul was like, okay, I'll vote for Andy to have that like backup or whatever. But yeah, I didn't know Sue was gonna vote for him too. But
that must have been like a last minute plan
Yeah.
and whatnot. Just like, hey, just in case
Just in
we
case.
don't want any ties or anything, just throw another one out there.
Yeah.
We're all on board.
Yeah, it must have been. But my favorite was Rome's face, man. Like, so first, like the first vote for Andy comes up and it looks so fake. He was like, what? And it looks so fake. And then like another for Andy, I think.
Yeah.
And
Or
then
Sam.
Yeah, Sam, and he knew that, so he was like, well, oh yeah, maybe Sam was first, and then Andy, and it was like a little less like fake. And then another one, and he was like, and then Rome, and then he's like, what is going on? And then Rome.
Well, that usually is the key. It's like, there's gonna be a couple of votes. Whoever's like third,
Yeah.
like, oh, suck.
Yeah.
They got me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just love seeing it go from fake shock to real shock. And then he knew it. And to his credit, he did leave like classily. He was like, you guys got me, good game. Like nothing but love for everyone.
Yeah.
Like Jeff, give me a hug. Like I liked his exit.
Very, very different than Annika's.
Yeah. And I'm just so happy he's not part of the jury.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that could have been a long jury session with him on there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Rome goes home. He's done. He said he had a great time playing. Do you think they'll bring him back for 50?
I hope not. I kind of feel like they could though, because
he's such a big personality.
Yeah.
So.
So he's gone. Then it showed like the stuff for next episode.
Next week,
and it kind of just showed.
Oh, Andy.
Yeah, it showed Andy. Like, the thing that I thought was kind of interesting, like it showed Teeny and some of the girls talking and being like, "Hey, let's get rid of all the guys and make this a girls thing."
Which I feel like it's very rare that ever works.
Yeah.
I mean, it worked for the Black Widow Brigade, but that's like the only time.
It's gonna be hard.
Yeah.
It's gonna be hard because I don't feel like any of the girls are super great at the challenges, and you have to win the challenges to get the guys out.
Yeah. So yeah, they're going to. Oh man, yeah. And you have to realize also, like Tiana, Kyle's her number one.
Yeah.
Sam and Sierra.
Yeah.
Sam's her number one.
Yeah. How are you?
Gabe and Sue.
Yeah. How are you gonna get?
How are you gonna overcome that?
Yeah. Split those.
Yeah. Because it sounds good, word of mouth, on paper, whatever. But you have to really convince these other girls like this is the best play.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that the guys don't win immunity.
Yeah. For
Good
sure.
luck.
Yeah. Right. Which you can whittle them down a bit, but eventually you're gonna like yeah, maybe you form like some secret alliance with like Sam, Sierra, and Gabe and Sue, and then you get like Kyle out and like a couple of those guys, but then like eventually you have to get Gabe and Sam out.
It also reminds me of going back to Palau. Chris, it was eight girls and Chris.
Yeah.
He was the only guy left from the guy's tribe. But the girls started getting greedy and they started picking each other off. Lo and behold, he's worked his way in to a certain girl's alliance and he freaking wins the thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so you can say you want a girls' alliance, but
do you?
Yeah. Is it really best for your game?
Yeah. I feel like that's how it usually goes when like those type of lines are drawn.
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens. So.
Oh, and Andy, I gotta get God out before they get me out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let the chaos begin, Andy.
Yeah.
But Mr. George Costanza, that might be a bad idea.
Right.
And you're probably going home next.
Yep. Okay. So, who do you think? You think he's gonna?
I think Andy's going home next.
Andy next.
I feel like Sam and Sierra are gonna be smart enough. Like, it's gonna get back to him that he's plotting to get him out.
Yeah.
Because he's just.
He's not. Yeah.
Not. I don't think he's delicate at the game.
No.
The social game.
He's
work.
for sure not.
So, I think he's going next.
Who do you think's gonna get immunity?
To be honest, I'd probably have to say Kyle.
Kyle again?
I feel like Kyle could win. Yeah, it does depend on what they do, but if it's some endurance challenge or whatever, I think Kyle's gonna win.
I think he's got a good chance. I do think Gabe's got a good chance too, and possibly Sam. I think those are like the most like fit, athletic threats.
Yeah.
But yeah, it kind of depends what it is.
Wow.
If it's like more athletic, more like mind, I don't know.
Yeah, like a puzzle or something.
If it's a puzzle, like I think Rachel's got a good shot.
Oh yeah. Yeah, she's
Genevieve.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, only if Genevieve isn't paired with
Yeah,
Will.
for sure.
Oh, she's not.
For sure. Yeah.
So yeah, I'll probably say Kyle wins again.
Yeah.
In these first
That's
early
safe.
challenges.
Yeah, I'd say probably Andy goes home. I think if, depending on like when Teeny's talking about this, getting all the guys out, if it gets back to the guys, I think she could be gone.
Yeah.
So one of those two, I believe.
Yeah. Because who was she talking to when she said that?
I can't remember. There's like, I think three of them. Probably Caroline and
Sue.
Probably Caroline and maybe like Tiana or wait, who did they like when they went to that like mixer? Who it was like Teeny, Rachel, and Caroline.
They were all
So I think maybe she's talking to them,
Okay.
which wouldn't be bad to talk to them about it because they don't have ties. So
So yeah, I still think Andy's gonna go home.
Yeah.
I think Kyle will win.
Yeah.
If it's a girl though, probably Rachel or Genevieve.
Yeah.
I could see those two.
Okay.
Because yeah, Sierra was so bad at that last
Oh,
challenge.
she was very bad. Yeah.
So I'd probably say that.
Okay, great.
Let us know what you guys think down in the comments. Subscribe, comment. What else? Ring the bell.
Do whatever. Do what you need to do.
do what you do. But yeah, we look forward to next week and see who's gonna go home.
Okay. For sure.
Hey, maybe 2 people go home. That'd be fun too.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Let's get some more paint bucket challenges here. Let's go.
Amen. Amen. Well, guys, have a great week. We'll see you next time. Yo ho ho.